And then the second one is, if a particular government comes and say, we want you out, another government comes in and say, come back home. Are they not making that particular figure like you're now being moved around? So if another government comes in again, or maybe the APC government comes in again to Kano State, what will happen to that same Emir?
Repealing the law, you understand, and going back to the status quo has settled this question that you are asking, or what people are saying, that if another governor knows that if he do it, is going to be repelled again. So maintaining the status quo, leave it the way it is.
What if he refuses?
Then the backlash is on the Kano people and the Kano Emirate.
Right.
You understand? You can't cause a problem. But somebody came and said, no, because you are talking too much, you are this, you are that. If Emir did not talk about the sovereignty of his people, who will talk?
Okay.
And they said Emirs.
So today we are not taking our quote, but we'll go straight to taking our new national anthem. Is it new or reintroduced? Anyway, whichever one works for you. And here it goes, just for you. That's just to help you understand, learn, cram, adopt, so that you don't mess it up the same way you messed up Arise a Compassion. It's not compassion, it's compatriot. But just to help you, just so you know. Now, the reintroduced national anthem says, Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribes and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be symbol that truth and justice reign, in peace or battle honored. And this we count as gain, to hand on to our children a banner without stain. O God of creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria shall be blessed. Amen. So, be you a CSO, a politician, National Assembly member, a senator, you are a corps member, a student, whatever you are, please ensure that you learn this for your own good, because it is now law. Welcome to the conversation. We're reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Annabelle Oji. Today we're looking at the new national anthem, some of the standards that are taken as we're looking at it with regards to brotherhood, nationhood, and then we'll go straight to Kano State to talk a little bit about the politics in Kano. Is it politics or the politics around the Emirates? Anyway, whichever one you want to call it. We have two guests on the show today. My first guest is Hassan Sadauna, who is a public affairs analyst. Great to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me, Annabelle.
All right, and then we have our very own Habib Gajo, who is a political economist and a burial the change expert. Great to have you on the show, Habib Gajo.
Thanks for having me, Annabelle.
Okay, so now let's go straight to our conversation for today, so that we don't let's go hit the nail on the head. We now have Nigeria, we hail thee, that was taken away in 1960. I beg your pardon, was introduced in 1960, taken away in 1978, and now readopted on May 29th, 2024. Habib Gajo, let's get your thoughts. Bringing back the old national anthem, kicking away. I was talking to someone and then he says the old schools will now tell the Gen Zs that you people should rest. We are the ones, you are the kids on the block. But then I remember having going to for a particular conference, and some National Assembly member could not even recite the Arise or Compatriot very well. At some point they were stuttering because I heard it very well. So now bringing in this new one, it means that we have to sit, learn, unlearn, relearn. What are your thoughts on this?
What to me, and to ordinary Nigerians is not necessary. What is bothering Nigeria is far, far, far greater than changing the national anthem. Though it's just a mere lyrics, you understand?
Is it the mere lyrics?
Yes, it's a mere lyrics. Our unity is our strength in diversity and unity, our native land, our this and that. It's all the same. You understand? It hasn't changed anything. It's just the lyrics that change. You understand? So no matter how you change it, still what is affecting Nigeria is still affecting Nigeria. Let us concentrate on addressing what is our problem. What do we need? Do we need national anthem or do we need food on the table? You spend so much money sponsoring a bill in the House of Reps, first reading, second reading, and so you know, a lot of money has been spent to amend this thing, the national anthem. Well, we are patriotic Nigerians. We will adopt it. We will do it. But I think another president will come, or another National Assembly will now look at, oh, we need to go back to our real, or the other one is more patriotic, or putting Nigeria together, more especially our heroes will not go in vain. You understand?
The labor of our heroes shall never be in vain.
You understand? You know, we have fought war, civil war, and so on and so forth. We have so many issues. So we understood that our diversity is our strength. You understand? So we move on, but bringing it back, I think, is just, and even those who brought it back cannot sing it very well. Like
okay, let me put you on the spot.
Like you said, there is one, I think, a ministerial appointee went screening in the Senate. I think, is it during Obasanjo or Jonathan? He cannot, and he was disqualified because of that. You understand? To show you that this is very, very important in our nationhood and in our journey as Nigerians.
Okay. Habib Gajo, let me put you on the spot. I'd like you to recite the new national anthem. Can you? From A to Z.
I can't.
Oh, you can't?
I have never read, I didn't read it. You understand? So that's what I'm telling you. It will take more years to adapt. You understand? But it has been done, it has been done. But it's not what Nigerians need right now.
So when you
have a lot of challenges. Okay. A lot.
So I hear Obieze Kwesili and Reno Mokri and some other persons say they don't know Nigeria will hail thee. All they know is arise a compatriot, and that's what they will stick to. And then there's a trend now. The hashtag Old National Anthem. What are your thoughts on that? Are they being patriotic or not? Since we already have, it's law.
It's a law. It's, you know, it's all depend on the patriotism. You understand? So when you are patriotic to your country as a citizen, that's your own obligation. You understand? Why the national anthem? Some may disagree or some may differ. You understand? Like the way Ezekwesili and Reno Omekri was saying that Nigeria will healthy, and they don't know where our health or how are we in that lyrics. You understand? But we all believe that we are one Nigeria. You understand? We are patriots, and we can defend our country. That's what it matters. Our native land, our diversity, we healthy diversity in a land that will, a flag that will prosper and so on, and we keep saying, we keep talking about everything we import everything, and even this one is the same Oyibo people in 1964, in 1959 that drafted in, wrote it, composed it, and gave it to us. You understand? And
Right.
we now believe in it, and we believe it's better than the one we did to ourselves after the war.
Okay, so I'll come back to you. But let's get your thoughts, Hassan Sadauna, with all that Habib Gajo said. Do you actually share same thoughts? I'm going to ask you two questions. I'd like to get your thoughts on the readopted national anthem. And then I'll take some of the stanza, like the second one that says, on our own dear native land, though tribes and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve. But then you still have the Fulani man tell you, I'm not Hausa. I'm Fulani. I speak Fufude. I don't speak Hausa. Or you hear the Yoruba man in Lagos tell you, let Igbos leave this place for us. It is our land. So is it just mere words, or we should actually imbibe in this? Because now if you say, okay, we've made it to become a law, let's keep singing it. It means you should go more than singing it or reciting it or chanting it.
Okay, Annabelle, you see, we are good in changing a lot of laws or some acts that come with a very good truth for the better of Nigeria and Nigerians. What am I trying to say here is this. If you look at what I have been talking about always, yearning about, is about patriotism. My brothers here have spoken about patriotism, or have said something about patriotism. We are patriotic. Even if you take the last anthem that have been shortchanged, they are saying all compatriot. Are we compatriots today to ourselves? When you are talking about compatriot, a compatriot that you are talking about, maybe since pensioners were not paid in some states for more than 10 months, are you talking about a compatriot where a pensioner will do self-contribution and that of his place of work, but at the end of the day, he will not be receiving even 50% of what he has, what do we call it, he has served? Are we talking about compatriot where you don't have a mercy on other people? Okay, when you look at the renewed, what do we call it, anthem? The renewed anthem, the readopted anthem. It is have spoken a lot. Forget about who have written it, who has not written it. And they were talking about tribes, our different tribes, our maybe culture and whatever, but still we see ourselves to be a good one Nigerians. Those the days when this statement were existing, you find out we are talking about people like late Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. You are talking about Chief Obafemi Awolowo, people about Ahmadu Bello Sardauna of Sokoto, maybe Tafawa Balewa, many more that you know. Then this anthem that is now readopted or renewed was in existence. It is more compatriot than the anthem that has been now shortchanged. But what went wrong in between to lost all the what do we call it, the connectivity between the south and the north, between the northeast and the southwest, or between the southeast and the northeast or northwest, or not in general, or between this tribe and the other tribe, as you mentioned. I can bolt and say, yes, I'm a Fulani, maybe I'm not a Hausa, while I can speak Hausa fluently. Even a son of, what do we call it, Barbushe cannot speak more than a better Hausa than me or than him, but we still regard ourselves as a Fulanis because the identity is our tribe. in that that manner. So what when hadn't been we believe in what we are talking about, the tribes, whatever we differ, but we come together and make a great Nigeria, or provide a great Nigeria. If we really going to talk about having the national anthem back, there is nothing wrong in it. But do you know there is something we call about timing? There is something that people does that they can't look at what the timing look like. When you go back to the last administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, I am an what do we call a supporter of President Muhammadu Buhari, but I kick against his policy of what a new note during Central Bank Governor Emefiele, when the new Naira redesign was met. I was kicking against it, because I was not kicking against it just because I don't want a new Naira. No, the timing they put redesigned the Naira, it was during electioneering year. And even if it is USA or in UK or Canada or anywhere in the world, no any politics will take place without spending. They will not come and bribe you, but they will do players. They will do flags. They will do a lot of things. They will advertise based on their these things. But maybe because of their way of paying and buying and selling, it is in advance to our own generation here in the African continent. You find that it looked very different. So you see, by that time in Africa or in Nigeria, we look more about more cash than anything during the electioneering year. So what makes it to be too scarce? Because the more politicians and the political godfathers were trying to what? To pack cash to their position, so that they will use it when the time of election period come up, because they will be giving cash, they will be bribing, they will be buying vote. All those type of things are there. Okay. So whether you like it or not, with the standard of voting in Nigeria or election in Nigeria, we have never passed a situation whereby you will be given a cash, even for you to go for campaign and others. And then secondly, now we are talking about the last subsidy that Mr. President removed. The removal of subsidy in Nigeria, everybody knows that all the presidential candidates, either for him being Atiku or Peter Obi from Labour, they have promised they will going to remove the subsidy. But what are we talking in place is that when you remove the subsidy, at least you will replace it with something that will going to what? Hinder the suffering that subsidy will cause to the ordinary citizens of Nigeria or the masses. Even recently, the former President Obasanjo said that the removal of the subsidy was done in a wrong time. You understand what I'm saying? That there is nothing put in place to what? As an alternative measures taken to avoid the hardship and all the difficulties that the Nigerians will going to face. So when we are talking about the readopted, what do we call it?
The challenge here is the time.
And it's not the time. It's supposed to be more in time to look at in the near future, but not now. Because in a common Nigeria needs an education, needs security, need a good economic environment, need a free, what do we call it? Interactions where he assure of there is security. But what we are having today, there is no food on the table of a common man in Nigeria, whether we like it or not. So for that reason, if you are talking about new anthem, which this anthem is done by is a bill for the executive, because the president was once captured by you people, the media, asking him, and he was saying that if he will have his way, he will going to reintroduce the former national anthem, because it has spoken about more of who we are in Nigeria than anything. I am not against it. It is I prefer it than the former one that they have just abrogated. But I am telling you, the timing is very wrong by my side.
Okay, so I'm just wondering, some people will actually say, what time is then right if it is not now? If it is not, when is he ever right to even have it then?
Thank you very much. You see, I don't want to be selfish, because for now, it is not the matter of having a national anthem that is our problem. But, you know, the leaders are very good in what they call divide and rule. When you have this problem covering you, they will come with another antics that will take away your attention and move it to another way. When a few weeks before in the northern Nigeria, immediately that's a small Salah, when people are suffering from difficult of poverty and whatever, there is this popular Hausa song that by one Dauda Kahuturara that he just, what do we call it, released. They call it Fatima Maizogale. Everywhere they are talking about Fatima Maizogale. In the north, they have forgotten that people are in poverty. There is no security in the north. There is no this in the north. Yes.
What's the meaning of this odd translation to the song?
The song was about, I don't know the name of Zogale in Hausa, in English.
Moringa.
Moringa. That the lady is selling Moringa in Usetu. So this popular Hausa artist went to buy the Moringa. And when he was to buy it, he realized that with his friends, that the lady was looking at him. Then one of them asked him, sister, do you know him? He said, no, but he just looked like one man that I have been seeing and been listening to his songs. And that man is called Dauda Kahutu Rararara. Then they said he is the one. But let us finish. When we are done, he will want to talk to you. That's what they taught. They taught her. So when they finished, then he asked her, what is her name? Is Fatima. Then when he go and play a music for her, Fatima Zogale, that so is Fatima, the owner of Zogale. So he started making a lot of press in the singing, which has attracted that Zogale is fine, is good. Zogale can add this value of Zogale. He knew it. You understand?
Okay.
It has become a popular something. And even some ministers have given out some assistance to re-energize.
And then they forgot their challenge.
And we talk, that is why I'm saying it's taking a diversification of people thinking
right.
with the difficulties that we are today.
All
so
right.
it is also with the national anthem.
I just wonder why he had to put that song with the national anthem. Let's go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll start our conversation on the Kano Emirate and the politics around it. See you later. Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation, reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. If you just joined us, you've actually missed out on the first part of the show, but then we'll go to the second part. My guest on the show today is Habib Gajo, who is a BDC expert, and we also have Hassan Sadauna, who is a public affairs analyst. All right, before we went on that break, we've actually talked about a number of things, but let's move straight to our next discussion because our time is fast spent. Habib Gajo will come to you and talk about Daily Trust this morning says, Kano Emirate crisis, CJN summons CJs and NBA probe lawyers. But if you check the Nation's newspaper this morning, it actually stated NBA saying that judges' conduct in Kano State a disgrace. And then you saw that conflicting judgment from with regards to the Kano Emirate. Then the government says no protest and all. I'll come back to Hassan Sadauna so that we can get to a brief history of the Emirate. But let me first of all ask you, what are your thoughts with regards to the fact that I hear someone say we are gradually politicizing our traditional institutions, and that is what is happening in Kano State with regards to the Emirates. In all that has happened all through last weekend, or all through last week up until now, what are your thoughts on them?
Well, you know, sometimes that is why we always disagree when you change a law or you amend a constitution or a law in order to suit you or to benefit you. You understand? Because the law was not made because of you alone. It was made for the generality of the people. You understand? So those Emirates are institutions of the tradition and culture in Nigeria. Before independence, or in 16, 17, 1800s, you understand, those institutions are still there with a centralized government with everything. And even the state, even when the colonial came and give us independence, it's the same people that work as native authority. You understand? Before the independence, there was indirect rule between the traditional rulers or council with the colonial masters. And today, what we have in our own constitution is more different than what happens before. You understand? So placing an emirate council under a local government or a emir under a chairman of an area council or local government, and you sat down and look at the law and said, no, I have to change this. Leave it there. Allow it. You will do your own, you will go. Somebody will come, he will do his own. You understand? They amended this, they created another emirate, and they removed the then emir of Kano, Sanusi, Lamido, and he accepted his fate. Nobody protests. He didn't go to court. He has not challenged anything. All what he has challenged is his fundamental human right. He will not be in his own country and will be placed under exile. You understand? And court said he is right. Yes, freedom of movement, freedom of speech, freedom of... So he moved from where they put him in asylum to Lagos State. He kept doing his own traditional way, a religious way of doing his own things. You understand? Now, there is a change of button, change of government. And then I'll say, okay, let us look at this law. So, like I'm saying, you can't amend a law to suit you. It's just like a coup. And that's what is happening. When Obasanjo wanted to amend Nigerian constitution and have third term, it was resisted. You understand? It didn't go through. Some countries in Africa did. Today, they are still in power. It's because they amend those laws for themselves. In Senegal recently, we have seen the same. So now come back to the Kano. Coming back to the Kano, we look at what all this thing that caused all this problem from the traditional from the sitting government of NNPP to the Emirate Council, now to the judiciary. You understand? What this means, the Kano State House of Assembly went on a special session. That's what they call it, a special session, and repealed the amended or enacted or modified or changed or
laws.
Twist the law to create emirate and to change the emir. It has been repealed and dissolved and back to the status quo. You understand? That's what the State Assembly did. So the other party ran to the court and said, no, stop these people from parading themselves or inaugurating Sanusi Lamido as emir pending the determination of our suit. You understand? And the court gave an injunction. Another one went to court also. I think is the court of coordinate jurisdiction. I think all of them, all the federal high courts. I think they're all
state high court, and the other one is federal high court.
So they are on the same coordinate. So
Okay.
So they ran there. They said, no, this is the law, and it was been passed by the State Assembly. So we have to follow the law. And the judge also issued another order to and ask police to remove the deposed emir out of the palace and the state government to inaugurate or to taban the one. So the conflicting judgment was born out of this crisis. And the way they applied it, that's what gave birth to conflicting judgment.
I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and I'd like you to quickly take them together in 2 minutes, if you can help us. Now, you have a particular judge who is supposed to be on leave and is not on seat. How do you give judgment when you're supposed to be on leave and you're not on seat, and that stands? How would things like that happen?
Yeah, okay.
That's one. And then the second one is, if a particular government comes and say, we want you out, another government comes in and say, come back home. Are they not making that particular figure like you are now being moved around? So if another government comes in again, or maybe the APC government comes in again to Kano State, what will happen to that same emir?
That's what I'm saying. Repealing the law, you understand, and going back to the status quo has settled this question that you are asking, or what people are saying, that if another governor knows that if he do it, is going to be repelled again. So maintaining the status quo, leave it the way it is.
What if he refuses?
Then the backlash is on the Kano people and the Kano Emirate. You understand? So to the judges, the order can come from a court. There is a vacation court. You understand? And if the judge is in vacation, there is a judge who will sit as a vacation judge.
Right.
You understand? And everything will be, because work will not stop. You cannot create a vacuum.
Right.
I think that's what led to what happened. But the main issue is the legality and the constitution and the laws of Kano and the Emirate Council matters more than the politics they are playing.
So you actually see it as politics?
Yeah, they are playing politics. APC, NNPP, going to the personalities, Ganduje, Konkoso, this one and that one. You can't be doing things that. Let me tell you something. There was a time that Ado Bayero was having issues with Konkoso, and that what led to his removal in office, where he was voted out in office in 2003. You understand? Okay. And Shekarau came on board and became a pet to the Emirate. Right. And he was even taban as Sadauna Kano. You understand?
The first.
When Konkoso came back as a governor, he didn't interfere. He didn't bother to because it's an institution. You understand? Backed by the law.
All right.
You understand? You can't cause a problem. But somebody came and said, no, because you are talking too much, you are this, you are that. If Emir did not talk about the sovereignty of his people, who will talk?
Okay.
And they said emirs are the fathers of the land.
Right.
You understand? And these politicians, from councillor to the president, will go to the emir's palace and beg for vote. And they will win with the glory and the support of those emirs or chiefs. And you come and say, I'm your superior. How do you become a superior? Somebody who you vote to serve you will now become your master.
Okay.
I think there is a disconnect, there is a dishonesty, and my own advice, we should stop interfering. We should stop amending, changing our laws because they were made for the country. They are not made for a personality or any group of people. So
all right,
let us maintain.
Okay.
Since Obasanjo confirmed that were thrown out, some people are saying that the baby was thrown out, the bad water was thrown out with the baby. You understand? But it's better for us. Today, no president will come in Nigeria and said, I want to amend constitution so that we'll have third term.
All right.
That aim has been defeated. We have achieved something. Okay. So let Kano State also do that. Repealing that law, maintaining status quo. Let us stay there. You understand?
Okay, let's leave it at that, because I know that Hassan Sadauna has a different mentality or opinion to what you said, because I remember him saying that the Emir, the reason why he has that turban covered in his mouth is so he doesn't talk too much. I'm sure I'm quoting your words rightly.
No. So Annabelle, I think they misunderstood it.
Okay.
Yes.
They did?
Yes. That turban to close the mouth, you understand, is not to speak to the powers. You understand? Or not to speak on behalf of his subject. Okay. You understand? It was covered so that it will protect him, you understand, from those who are visiting him by interpreting or talking to the people that visited him.
All right.
But he has every right to talk to his subject. He has every right to talk to the government on behalf of his subject.
Okay,
because
let's
have
a
council and a cabinet the way the governor and the chairman local government has their own.
Okay, let's have Hassan Sadauna actually make comment on this. And if you can help us very briefly on the history of the Kano Emirate before we now touch on all of this matter and then conclude on the show. Very quickly, if you can help us.
Annabelle, Kano Emirate is one of the oldest emirate in the Hausa Fulani land in Nigeria. It is one of the oldest society that has imbibed in economy and trade in the history of African sub-Saharan business. And it has to do with a lot of monarchs from the Eastern Wall or the Middle East of the world, to do with places like Saudi, Morocco, Egypt, and whatever, come to Sudan, Iran, and others, Iraqi, because the trade has been on there for a quite long time. You can go to Kano, one of their market called Kaswa Kurmi. They will show you a shop that has been standing for more than 1,000 years. If you don't know, you should know this. That makes Kano an Asian town. And for that reason, there was a dynasty of Hadi, that is before the coming of Sheikh Usman Nanfodio. There were even administration in many very places in the northern country, and Kano is among. So when the Fulani dynasty came during the Dabo conquest of Kano and met the first Fulani Emir, which is now the clan of the present Emirs in Kano. Okay, to behold, after he came in, there was even this type of crisis sometimes back between some Emirs, Yusufawa, who become from Sulubawa clan. But later, he was removed around, I think, 1893 or 1803 to 1804. There was a civil war in Kano. And this because of such same crisis of what we call it, emirateship. But to God be the glory, it was later reinstated after the war and whatever. He even died somewhere around in Bauchi state, if I'm correct. So coming down to history, when people are talking of politics, before the coming of Sheikh Usman Danfodio, When he came with what we call, it's just like you have a hope, hope is being renewed. So he came with a renewed hope of what? Islamization that can stop cultures more than ever. There was Islam before coming of Shehu and Fodio in the sub-Saharan areas of northern Nigeria. But there are some very cultures that intervene or interwove between the Islamic religion and the traditional cultures. When he came, he sanitized those type of cultures that can even cause a lot in the fate of a Muslim man or a Muslim woman. So when he came and he started engaging those, his messages to these emirs and whatever, there are some emirs that were removed. If you remove an emir and brought another one, it's a political. So until when the Western world, that is, start colonizing African countries, and Nigeria is one. And in Nigeria, Kano happened to be in Nigeria, in the northern region of the country. When they come, there are a lot of crises. Some emirs have died in the process. Like then there was a Sultan of Sokoto who died in the process when he said he will not going to follow, he did not believe with Western wall or that colonization. Okay. They killed him around Gombe and whatever, around place called Deba, Yamal to Deba local government today in the presence of Gombe State. So some emirs even in the north here, like in Katsina, Zazzau, Zaria, or whatever, some of them, if you go to Lokoja here, you see their graves in the course of colonial masters arrested them because they don't believe in the colonization, or they are playing maybe not along with them. So they brought them here and then leave them and install those what are going in with them in tandem with their system. So that is how it is. So when somebody is talking about politics, politics is always there. It's something that you cannot take away from a human being. Politics does not mean the dirty politics that we are seeing in Nigeria. Politics means a way and manner, a government that you will create for the people and by the people to enjoy. And even that emirate or that emirship or chiefdom or whatever in the south is about people, bringing people closer to governance or to government, and the governance will be under their leadership. So when you come to Kano, the Tozul have come again around 1982, 81, 82. Which involved even that time the suspension of the late Ado Bayero and that of what we call him, the Oni of Ife, that time during the Shagari government. But before then,
it was Buhari's regime that suspended him for 2 weeks for traveling outside Nigeria.
That one happened after Rimi have suspended him and created 5 emirs. Why does Ayo Emirate come up? It's during Rimi. It's my time. Let me talk. When it comes to your time, you will talk. So when it happens that time, but before then, during the regional government, Sir Ahmad Bello dethroned the grandfather of the present emir. That is Sanusi the one. If you are seeing his name, is Sanusi Muhammad Sanusi the second. So the Sanusi the first is his grandfather. I hope you understand.
Right.
So that one happened during early 60s, and then later Muhammad Inua was brought in, who is an elder brother to Ado Bayero, a younger brother to Sanusi the one.
Okay.
And was made to be an emir. In 6 years, he passed away.
Okay, so our time is fast spent. Just quickly help us round up in the next 1 minute, if you can.
So what is happening here is that after all those brouhaha come to the present days of the government, you know, politics is there. The family of Ado Bayero or the Emirate of Ado Bayero start having problem again during the Kwankwaso government, as he said earlier. And for that reason, there was even a video now where the Kwankwaso is saying, 2011, the emir did not vote for us. He voted for Shekarau. So he made those statements. They are there. You know, a record doesn't, what do we call
Lies.
it? Lies.
Doesn't lie.
So now, when it comes to Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, during the Jonathan government, there was a crisis of CBN. accusing some organizations or agencies of not remitting about 25 to 50 billion dollars, if I could remember vividly, accusing the NNPC. And that has raised a lot of eyebrows, which even the government was even started asking him that, no, you have vandalized, you have do this, you have do that, and the CBN too. So for that reason, very fortunate and very unfortunate for him. He was removed as a CBN governor. Already he has been turbaned at a head district as a title of Namajan Kano by the late Ado Bayero. So when coming to that, there was for a new Emirate, there was a lot of politics involved. If I could remember the politics of involved that time, there are some governors that went there. On their way coming back, they were refused to took off there from the airport. They had to drive. They drove through a car from Kano to here. Amechi ride the car, Goje, Bukola Saraki, and Baraji, 4 of them. And I think everybody have seen Amechi saying about that. So when you talk about politics brought Sanusi Lamido is not about traditional value and loves. Because when he was brought, 14 days he could not enter the Emirates. He was in the government house. People were demonstrating violence day and night until when things were caught up after 14 days. So when we said so, we are talking about the history of this crisis.
Okay. Our time is fast spent. I wish we can actually go on and on, but it looks like we're going to have this in serious, and we're going to bring you back again to start on this conversation. Thank you so much, Habib Gajo, BDC Expert. It's always a pleasure having this talk with you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, Hassan Sadauna, for having this conversation with us.
Thank you very much, Annabelle, for having us.
All right. So viewers, definitely, like I said, it is going to be a series. This is the part 1 of it. And definitely we are bringing them back again to continue on this same conversation and this debate on if there's politics in the Kano Emirate. I'll see you again later. My name is Annabelle Oji. Good morning.